Right, you know, and little unfortunate update for you. Unfortunately, this video just, I don't know who the hell Ed's PR team are, but they just don't want this video to see the light of day. So I've had to go through about plan B, plan C, plan D, and none of them have worked. So what I've had to resort to is making the video audio only in like kind of a podcast form. And I know it's not visually pleasing. I know it's not, what you probably would have wanted, but it's sort of the only way that the video is going to see the light of day. So, yeah, goodbye, you lot.
Right, you lot. And I know saying Ed Sheeran is your favourite artist, it's like the equivalent of saying Titanic is your favourite film. It's just a bit boring, isn't it? Most people see Ed Sheeran as just this boring, completely overrated artist who just... it's just so not deserving of the millions he's made. But don't you just think this man's story isn't truly remarkable? On the surface, this man should have never been a pop star. I mean, just look at him. He's not exactly got the demeanour and mannerisms of prime Michael Bublé, has he? He's got all of his millions not through half-assed producers or auto-tune or shit rap tunes about girls, money and drugs. He's got it through hard work, authenticity. This man made his dream a reality. No matter what you think of the man's music, he really does deserve credit. In a world where music is so oversaturated and produced, where we have these studio artists who just never perform live and use layers and layers upon of autotune and pitch correction and fixing to make fake, or really any bloody person can just become an artist. I mean, just look at all these TikTok stars who make hundreds because their fans buy their music. But Ed has always been a shining light in that. He's authentic. He's old school in the way he performs. Isn't it great that the biggest artist of our generation is so raw and genuine? For me, you haven't experienced this man until you see the guy live. He does everything real, with real loop stations and him playing instruments, and he very rarely uses things like bands or backing tracks. And honestly, seeing just that is so refreshing. He's a sole reminder of what music on the surface is. And he really does deserve all the praise that he received. I won't have people sneer at him. People who find him overhyped or not there just fail to understand the phenomenon that is Ed Sheeran. So I thought, to celebrate the highly anticipated release of Minors coming very soon, I want to look back at this man's career and highlight his best achievements. I've gone through his entire discography, that's right, all the way back to 2009, to now with eyes closed. Now these are the top 10th, and Jesus Christ, you know it's a good list when this is only in 10th. I've gone for Thinking Out Loud. Thinking Out Loud for me isn't a song, it's an experience. It's a truly timeless wedding song. There's this magic to it. It never gets old, and for me it's only got better with time. Ed's passion is just so vivid. He's really given everything. Can you feel how consumed he is with love? The song is simple. I like that. It's just a true, honest, earnest expression of love and how much he needs it. It's truly iconic. It really is. It's just such a moment. When you hear it, you're just immersed in this spectacle that he's put into your head. It's just honest, and I really think this will be continued to be played for generations. And this is only number 10. Coming in 9th, we've got another wedding song. Funny enough. Please, trust me, he does do more than this. Although I do find it amusing that the term Ed Sheeran wedding ballad has almost been morphed into its own genre at this point. Like, an Ed Sheeran is almost a genre. That just shows his impact on society. But I've gone for a really underrated song, actually. Not one of his more well-known wedding ballads. But I've gone for One Life from the Equals Tour Edition. Which, please, if you do me one favour, I know Equals was his weakest album, but please listen to the tour edition and that added 5 songs, because they are genuinely better than most of the actual songs on Equals. Such a gorgeous song that was dedicated to his wife, and he's not trying too hard. The song's just authentic and genuine. I feel like that's going to be something I'm going to say a lot on these songs, but I think that's why we love Ed so much. I love the mood and atmosphere he creates. Just this hollow, almost just like, it feels like it's only him and his wife in the room. And although Ed's gone down the lesser popular pop route, he can still create simple guitar tracks. The song's also very vague, and I like that. It can be interpreted into everyone's life. You can make this about your partner. And I think that's brilliant. The song's not hiding anything or trying to make a false idea. It's just raw. I love that rawness. Coming in 8th now. And it's not a wedding song. Breathe. In fact, it's kind of a rap song. Well, sort of. Ed is surprisingly actually a really talented rapper and actually worked with a lot of grime artists, and that's kind of how we, in his early years, and that's how we kind of got onto the scene. But anyway, this one really took me by surprise, and I feel like it really went under the radar. And it really is incredible. It's F64. Ed just goes all out and expresses how broken he is by the death of his friend Jamel. If you don't know, in 2020, Ed Sheeran's friend Jamel, who was a major helper for him in music, he did so much for him, not just as a friend, but helped him become and shape the artist that he was today. He kind of died in this shock way, and no one kind of foresaw it. And he's done quite a few songs about it, most notably, of course, his recent single, Eyes Closed. But this song he just goes all out and expresses how broken he really is. He puts everything into the delivery. It's so on point. The tone he creates is so vibrant. He really paints those feelings, and you can feel that loss, like you're being stabbed through the chest of it. I love how he doesn't feel back. It feels as if he was told this is the last song he could ever sing. It's so powerful, and you may say recency bias, but trust me, it really deserves this placement. He gives everything, and wow, there are 7 better. Okay, 7th is an odd pick. Well on the surface. But this just had to make the list for me. It's Icy Fire. One of Ed's more fascinating achievements, of which there are many, is writing a song for the Hobbit soundtrack. And trust me, that's probably the best thing to come from the mediocre movies. This is such a powerful song, filled with complete chills. Wow. Honestly, I was struggling to describe it to you. I feel like you just had to hear it. The first verse is so gorgeous, how it builds and progresses. Wow. It's just this sensational spectacle. It's like watching a full movie. It's like a 3-hour theatre production, just a one-man show. And this song live is just on another level. No amount of words can give this masterpiece the justice it deserves. So please, if you take one thing from this video, give Icy Fire a chance. 6th now. And one of his most cleverly crafted and the biggest tearjerkers, and the complete standout of equals. Of course, it's Visiting Hours. For me, Equals was unfortunately the weakest of the Maths albums. However, this one moment was sensational. This song, dedicated once again to Jamel, is just so gorgeous. The line, "I wish that heaven had visiting hours," is one of the most genius metaphors I've ever heard, and just once again presents Ed as an incredible songwriter. So I know he's received a bit of criticism for. His passion is just beautiful in every single way. The song is just so powerful, and probably his best lyrically in his whole career. I was just blown away when I first heard this, and I was just like, wow. It was just on another level for me to Bad Habits. Oh, and it frustrates me that out of Equals singles of Bad Habits, Visiting Hours and Shivers, Bad Habits and Shivers were the big ones, and this one, well, still a hit, was nowhere near the commercial success. I find this issue again with another song, and you can probably guess what that is. The song's just absolutely gorgeous, and deserves every bit of praise it's received. Now we're breaking into the top 5 with an absolute classic. It's Drunk. Such a unique, clever and catchy song, and I feel like this is Ed Sheeran in his prime. He's not trying to copy other people, you know. This came out in 2012. He's not trying to copy all the trends of the time. Like, this came out the singing of Billy Gannon style, for God's sake. But it's just so unique. I think the reason we all fell in love with Ed on the first 2 albums was that he was so fresh. He was different. And that couldn't be more the case in Drunk. In a way, it's amusing to look back at this one in retrospect to see how this man has grown. It's got that really like early 20s feel to it. And honestly, it's just such a bop. Like, there's not loads to say on Drunk. You just have to enjoy it and immerse it. 4th now, and we've got another classic from Plus. I had to put this on here. It's You Need Me, I Don't Need You. Probably his most funky, just like absolute slam dunk, honestly, for me. Such a vibe. For once, Ed, a man who's usually very humble, says, actually, you need to get behind me. You need me. I love it. And it works so much better than, say, something like Taylor Swift's Look What You Made Me Do, with how it calls out other haters and artists and it just shows who he wants to be and just demonstrates everything. This just demonstrates everything that I expressed in the intro, that this man needs respect, that you should get behind him. The vibe is incredible, and I'm sorry. The line, they say I'm up and coming like a fucking elevator, is one of the coolest lines ever. I'm being sincere, by the way, here. I don't know how he pulled that off. What an incredible middle finger to critics. It really is his 8 Mile moment. And the song is truly about it. To this day, I just love his mindset. And this song tells us a lot about his character and who he tries to be. And I think this song really shows why he did become the big hit that he was. He had that belief in himself. He worked hard. He had that determination. He had that mindset. And I think that is why he grew to be the artist he is now. Getting into the top 3 now. One of his most beautiful, and probably his most underrated song of all time. It's A Fire Love. In this beautiful ode to his late grandfather, he kind of expresses the childhood perspective of losing a family member, not quite understanding things like why you can't recognise them. Ed's storytelling is so great and vivid, and the picture's so distinct. I love the perspective he tells it from. I love this kind of childhood. The song progresses and gets stronger, and it goes on. It's just so touching, and it's got this almost heavenly atmosphere. There's something so holy about this song. It's just such a beautiful way of portraying this feeling, and it's probably the most underrated song ever, honestly. I just love the way it builds up, and I feel like, again, similar to F64, it feels as if it's the last song you can ever sing of how much he puts into it. The runner-up. You knew it was coming. It's Don't. I feel like this is just the most universally beloved Ed Sheeran song. You can disagree with any other placement. I will argue in the comments about why you think the other songs don't work. But I refuse any slander of Don't. Honestly, this song, even Ed's biggest critics can put their hands down and be like, you know what, Ed? You made a banger with Don't. The vibe is just brilliant. He uses great storytelling and it is authentic. He doesn't try and lie or paint himself as better than everyone else. He's just telling a story. I love the delivery. I love the verses. It's unique. It's just so much a blast to listen to. You could never get bored of Don't. And it deserves every bit of credit it's received. I mean, if you're going to slander it, just don't. Anyway, moving on from that atrocious pun. Ed has so many bangers, it was genuinely so difficult to narrow it down. So here's some honourable mentions. So I've got 3. He's done so many great songs, but these are 3 that I think definitely deserve the mention. My 11th choice would have probably been Photograph. One just absolutely beautiful song about feelings of reminiscing and wanting love back, a feeling so universal that Ed just gets across really brilliantly. I also want to give some credit to Make It Rain. I think that probably would have been 12. It's just such a powerful spectacle, just unreal vocally, just gives everything here. However, it is kind of similar to Icy Fire, and I feel like I wanted to kind of have some diversity with my choices, so that's why I didn't include it. Although I did start the list with 2 love ballads. And finally, I want to give an honourable mention to Take It Back. An absolute fire rap track with an absolute great hook. However, again, You Need Me is better. I think there's so many more, you could give. I love New Man, which I know is probably a hot take because maybe not everyone does. Same with Barcelona. I think they're absolute vibes. The Man is brilliant. That's another kind of rappy one. Sing is such a vibe. Even My Dad Does Sometimes is gorgeous. Slow Motion and Tides deserve credit as kind of the better songs on Equals. The A-Team is iconic. I could go on all day. Eyes Closed is a great kind of opener, and I'm sure Minus Forever Lot includes. But anyway, moving on to number 1. This may surprise you, as guess what? It isn't from Plus. It's not from Times. Music for me is very much what relates to me, and I picked a song that just visualises the feeling and fears and stuff that I feel in my life. And I've gone for Castle on the Hill. I will never forgive Society for making The Shape of You the biggest song of the decade, or this song released on the same day was just completely forgotten. What a genius song. It really is this generation's Summer of 69, as Ed sings back about going back to his youth and seeing all his friends and the lacklustre futures they got, but It never mattered because they made him. It's just such a powerful message, one that everyone can relate to. Nostalgia can be such a powerful emotion, good and bad. And I love any song of positive reminiscing on childhood and the innocence and naivety of a child. In fact, I based an entire album on this song. The third verse is brilliant, as Ed accounts all these people's future. Only to say, these people raised me, but I can't wait to go home. It truly gets me every time. It's such a tearjerker, even more than Visiting Hours. Somehow everything about this song is perfection. With Ed's passionate vocals as he belts out the chorus, he really shows that the sky is absolutely the limit. And that was it. You'll probably notice something when you look back on this list, that with the exception of Thinking Out Loud, most of Ed's really well-known notorious hits didn't make the list. Usually that's because hits are not as good. And that would be the case with most mainstream artists. You know, your Katy Perrys of the world, your Taylor Swifts of the world. These guys, your Ariana Grandes, these people, they have incredible songs, but you just need to dig them out. Modern music has more great songs than ever. Just don't cover it. And turn off the radio. Right, now this was kind of a passion project for me for a while. I've been really looking forward to doing this one. And I'm going to do another Ed Sheeran song in about June, I think. Probably ranking all of the songs from minus. But yeah, if you want to know what's coming up for me in April, I've got a few exciting ones. I want to do a video on the MCU, because I just think that's an absolute mess at the moment. I definitely want to do a video ranking all the Mandalorian chapters. I've got that coming up. And of course the How to Be Bra moment video. So yeah, goodbye y'all.